Hi guys, this is Damien Jones here. I play the character James in the movie The Day Before. James, what can I say about James? He was a bad boy. He turned his life over to God and was trusting in God solely. He had a beautiful wife. He had a son. Unfortunately, his son was locked away in prison. But James one day visited the doctor because he wasn't feeling well for a period of time, and they took some tests and he was supposed to go back to the doctor. On his second return to the doctor, he felt a lot better. He was feeling so much better. So he burst into the doctor's office saying, "Yeah, doc, I'm good, no need to worry." Nonetheless, unfortunately, he received some horrible news, and the doctor told him, he only had a few months to live. Having had this bad news, he didn't even know how to tell his wife. And as James looked around, he had his wife, his son was missing because he was in jail. His life seemed like it was falling apart, and he didn't know which way to turn. So he started to revert back to the life that he lived before. One day he decided to go to the mall, his wife, himself, and his son, where they were confronted by a gunman who wanted to take his son's life. James pleaded for his son's life. Unfortunately, it took a fatal turn, but fortunately, James' son and his wife was unscathed. They were all right. James was still spiraling out of control. He was still caught between two realms, whether to serve God or just go back to the way he was. And one day it would so happen that he was in the park just contemplating life and everything, where he was approached by his wife and her friend. And they were crazy, going hysterical over James, thinking that it was another woman that he was talking to. And at the same time, there was gas that was leaking from the van. And thank God his wife's friend was there and she could smell it. And she said, "Get out the van," and there was an explosion. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and James was able to see the light of another day.